Alright, now that we officially have confirmation that we're getting a brand new Eminem album in 2024, I figured it was the perfect time to update my Eminem album tier list video. I did one of these in 2020. It's been 4 years, which is crazy to me that it's already been that long. Time's flying and I'm getting scared. But I did one of these before Music to Be Murdered by Side B came out, so I have a brand new album to toss into the tier list. But also, my opinions have changed drastically over the last 4 years, and that's the great part about doing these videos. Updates are awesome. So we hopped on over here to the old tier list maker. Got all these albums down here down below. I'm just gonna go in order of the albums that pop up, and I'll explain my rationing as the albums fly in. And keep in mind, this is an Eminem album tier list, okay? This is an Eminem scale. So if I put one of these albums in the D category, I'm not saying it's like a D album overall. I'm saying it's a D album based in his standards, which are very high, just like he was in the early 2000s. But alright, now that the premise has been laid and set,
Hi, Crypt. We're approaching the 6th anniversary of Marvel Strike Force. The characters will battle in limited time events as part of the game's 6th anniversary. We need your help in forming perfect teams to overcome challenges. The fate of our world depends on it.
I mean, sure, I can tell everybody about how awesome it'll be to form a squad of their favorite Marvel superheroes and supervillains to save the universe, but will they listen? Will they just get past the fact that they can upgrade them to become stronger and more dominant across every battle? Will they ignore the groundbreaking RPG gameplay cinematics, the stunning visuals, the constantly evolving game modes? I have to make them listen, but I have to do it in the way that only I know how. It's time to have a blast with this RPG. No other fun is ever topping this. You gotta form a squad to take on some threats just like Dr. Doom and Apocalypse. I have the confidence that you will not resist. It's time for you to see like a consonant. And that Marvel Strike Force, of course, is more than you could ever want. Assert your dominance and go take the throne. 5v5 in the cosmic crucible. Dude, time for you to make it known. Whether it be in the PvP or arena scene, you will slay them foes. Complete some missions and unlock your gear. Level up, bro, and go and steal some fear. And have some fun in Marvel Strike Force the 6th year.
yo, shout out to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring this video. And right now, you can play for free by scanning the QR code on the screen or clicking the link down low in the description. And in honor of the 6th year anniversary, you can take part in the 2,190 Days of Marvel Strike Force event. All you gotta do is complete the milestones and you'll get some gold, training items, and the luxurious Nick Fury costume. You can even receive a grand prize by completing each weekly event and earn the weekly anniversary item. And once you're in the game, enter in the promo code MSF6 where you'll get 310 Deadpool shards, 500 power cores, and 5 premium orbs if you're a new user. And if you've already played the game, no worries. You can use promo code NIGHT. That'll get you 15 Nightcrawler shards, 500 power cores, and also those 5 premium orbs. All that is down low in the description, and shout out to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring this video. Okay, first up, we got already a controversial one in my opinion with Encore. Encore has some really dope songs on it that I love. Mockingbird, one of the best Eminem songs of all time, unarguably. Yellow Brick Road is also on this album, another really dope classic Eminem song that I feel like a lot of people overlook. It's got like Toy Soldiers on here, an incredible song. It's got Mosh on here. Just some really classic Eminem songs, but it also has Ass Like That and Just Lose It, and I fucking hate those songs. And those two songs were back to back, and that alone makes me want to just never listen to the album again. But I'm not gonna deny there's some really dope songs on this. And because it's so up and down for me, I think it's perfect to toss it right here in the middle at the B category. Moving on to the next one, a not so controversial one to me is Infinite, and I think this is by far the worst Eminem album, and there's not really a huge debate on that. I know in my last video, a lot of people were saying that it's super underrated, and I needed to give it another chance and to listen and really listen to the words and everything, and I can't get into it, guys. The song itself, Infinite, is fine, but the rest of it, I can just tell it's very base layer stuff. It's the groundworks for what is to come, but he was not Eminem in this. This was just very basic, early old school rap stuff, just super simple flows, just not a lot to be desired. And if you like Infinite, that's awesome, bro. That is totally fine, but I don't. The next album on the list, we've got Kamikaze, which I hold near and dear to my heart. This album launched my music career. This is right around the time that I started doing music reactions and breakdowns and stuff like that. Not from Kamikaze itself, but because of Rap Devil and Killshot. Those were the videos that launched my career, and it was the first time I had ever done any kind of music breakdown. But for me, there are only 3 songs on this album that I could do without, and the rest are absolute banger. I don't like Good Guy, I don't like Bad Guy, and I hate the song Normal, but with The Ringer, Greatest, Lucky You with Joyner Lucas, I nerded out over that. Stepping Stone was like a classic sounding 2004 Eminem. Not Alike with Royce da 5'9" was awesome. Fall was crazy. I even liked Kamikaze, which a lot of people said was fact too. I liked it. And then Venom was fine. I don't like the chorus to Venom, but I love the bars. I love the style that he has. Just the anger. Angry Eminem is the best Eminem. And I would say definitely within the last 4 years, this is my most listened to Eminem album. Dropping that bad boy up in the A tier. And if it wasn't for Nice Guy, Good Guy, and Normal and had a couple different songs in there that were bangers, this literally might be an S tier album for me. And I know that might be crazy for a lot of people because I've seen a lot of people shit on Kamikaze, but this was just the Eminem that I wanted at that time. Because this was on the heels of Revival, and I wasn't feeling Eminem, and this was the start of the whole surprise drop era that he did. And the next album on the list, we've got the Marshall Mathers LP 2. I think for a lot of people, this was the last good Eminem album. Obviously not for me, because I love Kamikaze. But I've seen a lot of people say this is the last time that they felt like Eminem was truly himself before he moved on into some weird political stuff, choppiness, some weird flows, rapping really fast. Because this album did start the super fast rap craze. Because obviously Rap God is on this album. But there's a lot of really good mixtures between commercialized sound and like underground sound, the rap bar heavy sound that he has. I still remember when Berserk dropped and he was wearing the white t-shirt and dyed his hair blonde, and this is like the second coming of Slim Shady. He's back. Got the collaboration with Kendrick Lamar on there, and I really wish they would work together again. The biggest Eminem song of all time, The Monster. Yes, it is the biggest song of all time, which is weird. I guess stream-wise it is. But obviously, you know your boy loves Rap God, and I really like the song Brainless. Evil Twin is nice. I know a lot of people really love Headlights. And then even Bad Guy, the sequel to Stan, is such a good song. But I don't really like Stronger Than I Was. I don't like Rhyme or Reason. So much better. That whole little middle section of the album I'm not a big fan of. And so for that, I kind of feel similar to the way that I do with Encore. There's some songs that I really like. There's some songs that I don't care for. So we're going to drop it right here in the B tier as well. The next album on the list is the best Eminem album ever created with Marshall Mathers LP. I really shouldn't even have to explain myself. Just take a look at some of the songs on here. That's Why They Call Me Slim Shady. I'm Back is such a banger. The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady, Stan, Kill You, Criminal. Oh my God, it's so good. Those songs alone will negate any songs that you don't think are good songs. Let's see here. The next one is Music to Be Murdered by Side B. I remember not being the biggest fan of this album. I definitely don't think it's as good as Side A was. For me, I know I just can't get over a lot of the stuffiness that I hear in his voice on this. Also kind of got a little bit more monotone as well. I like Book of Rhymes, some really technical cool stuff. Really love the song Higher. That felt like a more classic Eminem sound. And I liked Zeus, but other than that, I wasn't a huge fan of the rest of it. A lot of people went crazy over Nat. I reacted to Nat. I thought it had some cool bars in it, but that just had the monotone stuffiness that I didn't care for. So with that, I think I'm actually going to drop that down in the C tier. There's not really a single song on this that I go back and listen to, and it's the most recent one. Seriously, other than Higher, I think because it got put in some UFC stuff, I don't go back and listen to them. Which kind of sucks for me because it's the last Eminem album that we've gotten, and I've just been fiending for more because I know there's more in the tank, especially because I've heard a lot of the features that he's done in the last few years. But this album just didn't leave the best taste in my mouth as potentially the last Eminem album ever. And now that I know that it's not, I can officially say I wasn't a big fan of the album. But on to a brighter note, we got Music to Be Murdered by Side A, which has a lot of really cool songs on it. Absolutely love Premonition. I love the overall darker tone of this. I'm a big horror fan, so I love Alfred Hitchcock, and the whole album is centered around that. But Premonition does such a good job at setting up the tone of the album. Definitely a bigger fan of the front half. The last half kind of loses me on some of the songs, but we got songs like Darkness, which is a super great conceptual song, nice and dark tone. Godzilla's on his Bad Boy, one of my most played Eminem songs, and I really love Leaving Heaven with Skylar Grey as well. But looking back at this track list, there are some songs that I definitely don't go back and listen to, like the song Never Love Again. I don't really even remember what that song sounds like, but I think it definitely has enough good songs on it to classify it as a B tier album. The next album on the tier list, man, this is definitely the most controversial one I feel like is Recovery, just because it has so many commercialized songs, so many songs on this played on the radio and definitely overplayed, and I feel like that's why a lot of people don't care for it. But for me, it's like, you know, they're played so much for a reason because they're good sounding songs. Obviously, you had Not Afraid on here. We got No Love with Lil Wayne, Spacebound, Cinderella Man, Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna. All of those played to death on the radio. I feel like Curtain Call 2, the greatest hits album, was basically just Recovery. So many songs from this and made it onto that. And I got dogged on in my last album ranking video because I said I was going to rank it based on personal preference, and I still ranked this one higher because of its commercial success. But I like the song. And while I don't think it's an S tier album, the songs are constructed very well. So I got to put it in the A tier. Next album up is Relapse. This was by far the most creative Eminem album that we've ever gotten. I used to hate this album, but it's grown soft to me over the years. Like I said earlier, I'm a pretty big horror fan, especially in the last few years. I've really grown to like horror stuff. And this is a straight horrorcore album. Sets it up with 3 AM perfectly. The music video on that, he's a freaking serial killer. Now, Eminem himself has said that he hates this album, but that doesn't affect my personal ranking because he loves Revival and I can't fucking stand that. Spoiler alert. But there is such a mixed bag with this. The song Insane is awful. He said he literally made this because he wanted people to be so uncomfortable that they would puke. Must Be the Ganja is a cool song and fun to listen to, but it's wacky. Like, there's no seriousness to it. And that's been my biggest gripe with this album my whole life, is that I feel like he's just so tired of doing other albums that he just wanted to fuck around a little bit more. Way more than he normally does. But there's so many great signs. My Mom is actually a super deep song. Bagpipes from Baghdad is the angry Eminem that I like so much. Got the super commercialized songs that I never understood why they blew up with Crack a Bottle and We Made You. We Made You is just not good. But then you have some really great songs with Deja Vu and the best Eminem Eminem song ever with Beautiful. That's right, I think Beautiful is the best Eminem song ever created. So again, with it being such a mixed bag and so many amazing songs and so many other songs that are just like, what are you doing? I think I'm fine putting this in the B category. Rounding out our final three, we've got Revival. And trust me, I do not like following the crowd. I like forming my own opinions. And with Revival, I can firmly say that I formed my own opinion before anybody was allowed to give me one. Because a friend of mine sent me this album a day before anybody else had it. And I remember listening to this album so excited back when I was making Call of Duty videos. And I heard it and I was like, I don't think I like any songs on this album. I like the fast rap part at the end of Offended, and I loved Castle in a Row. It's the best ending to an Eminem album. But the rest of them, I was like, bro, this just sucks. Walk on Water was fine. River was fine. But there was just so many weird guitar samples and rock samples. I just did not like them. The overwhelming political arch to this. I don't like political songs anyway. Never have. However, it is better than Infinite, so I'm going to toss it in the C category. But not as good as Music Be Murdered by Side B. Next up, we got Slim Shady LP, and I'm more excited about this because of the rumored Slim Shady LP 2 about to happen. We just hit the 25th anniversary of this album. Imagine this being your debut album. Like, how crazy would that be? This 3-song run to start off your career with My Name Is, Guilty Conscience, and Brain Damage, bro? That is insane. 97 Bonnie and Clyde is dope. Role Model, an amazing classic top 10 Eminem song. Kind of falls off towards the bottom down here. Those last few songs kind of knock it down just a little bit for me as an A-tier album. But it is the best A-tier album, for sure. And then finally, we have The Eminem Show, such a classic. With songs like Cleaning Out My Closet, Without Me, Sing for the Moment, Superman, Haley songs, When the Music Stops, Till I Collapse, My Dad's Going Crazy. I'm about to go crazy. This is the second best Eminem album there is. Damn, this dude's got so many bangers. So obviously, this is gonna be an S-tier album. But yeah, there's my list right there. Heckle me down in the comments all you want. I love the conversations, but I definitely need to know what your guys' rankings are on. I went back and checked my old video, and there are a few different changes. So that just goes to show that music is subjective on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys thought. And I'm super excited for the next Eminem album, Slim Shady LP 2, hopefully. We'll see if we can toss another S-tier album on his bad boy. But that's it for this video. Love you guys. This is my music if you want to check me out.
A heart had wings, I fly away far, far from the light, 'cause I like the dark. If my heart had wings, in the dark all those mirrors don't shine, and I never have to look myself